Okay, third graders. So today we're going to merge our number sense and problem solving together a little bit and remind ourselves about our three reads. Remember, the first time we read a problem, we're just trying to see what's happening, kind of comprehending a story that's happening. And then when we read the second time, we want to comprehend the mathematical structure, like what math operations are happening. And then the third goal on our third read is to analyze the question and then to be able to solve it. Okay. So this first time I read it, you should be able to tell me or someone nearby you what's just happening in this story problem. And the numbers don't really even matter right now. We just need to be able to understand what's happening. So this is what it says. Jose scored 65 points in a computer game. Steve scored 28 points. How many more points did Jose score than Steve? So I want you to take a second. I want you to think about what the picture is in your mind of these two boys, Jose and Steve. And I want you to think about what we know so far about them, what they're doing. And then I want you to take a quick second and draw a little sketch of the story so far. So I'm kind of envisioning two boys sitting next to each other on like their Nintendo Switch, or maybe they're online playing a game together. And this is their points. So we're going to read it again. And this time I want you to think about math-wise what's happening, not just comprehending the story, but mathematically what's happening. So Jose scored 65 points in a computer game and Steve scored 28 points. How many more points did Jose score than Steve? So I want you to think about what you know now that maybe you didn't come to the conclusion of in the first read. And I want you to think about, is there anything you can add to your sketch, like maybe some labels? And I want you to think about how, like maybe a question that you could ask within this story. What questions do you have? Okay, so we're going to read it one more time, and we're really going to focus on the question this time. We want to make sure that we understand the question and we're able to analyze it so that we can make a good plan and solve. Jose scored 65 points in a computer game. Steve scored 28 points. How many more points did Jose score than Steve? So I want to focus right here on this last sentence. How many more points did Jose score than Steve? Well, I'm asking for how many more, which means one of them did better than the other. And we know that Jose did better because he had 65 points. And Steve didn't do as well because he only had 28 points. So now I think we have all the information that we need. We need to come up with a strategy. You might already have a strategy, but I'm going to show you an organizer that we're going to use in third grade. And it's what we call a bar model. And basically what we're doing is we're looking at comparing these two because we want to see how many more. So we're going to use a comparison. And basically what it is, it's going to be the larger number, which is going to be A, so 65 points of Jose's points. And then we're going to plug in B, which is 28, which is Steve's points. And what we're trying to figure out is how many more points Jose got right here than Steve. So we're looking for the difference. Difference is going to be the answer to a subtraction problem. And so here are two different ways you could figure it out. The difference is going to be whatever A is, which is 65, minus B, which is 28. But you can also take B and add whatever the difference is to get A. So it would be like 28 points plus how many more is 65. So I want you to take a minute and see if you can work this out on a piece of paper today. Welcome back, you guys. Okay, so yesterday we talked about how place value discs can help us understand and be able to represent a number, compose and decompose a number into expanded notation. And so we are going to do that again today. And I am so excited. We have access to some virtual manipulatives so that if you don't have place value discs at home, that you can go online, and these will be linked on the slide today for you to be able to access. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, we're just going to remind ourselves for a second that expanded form shows the value of each place. So like in 723, it's 700 plus 20 plus 3. Expanded notation is a little bit different. This is where we look at each digit and we multiply it by the value of that place. So I'm going to show you really quick the number that is on this anchor chart, 723. I'm going to show you how to do it over here on these digital manipulatives. So I like to start in my ones place. That's just where I prefer to start. So I am going to click and drag 1, 2, 3. And I'm just going to make sure it stays in this section. Okay. Then I'm going to go to my tens and I need 2 tens, 1, 2. And I love how they're color coded because that helps my brain. And then 7 groups of 100. 2, 3, 4. Oops, that one didn't go. 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, so that's the end of this one. And then I can come down here and click this red button and redo it. So if I were going to write this number 723 in expanded notation, this is where I would start filling in this multiplication sentence right here, this really long number sentence. And so it would be, how many groups of 100 do I have? I have 7 times the place times 100 plus 2 times 10, which is my 20, and then 3 times 1. That's what that would be. So the only downside of these digital manipulatives is that they don't go as high as we need them, but I do think that this is going to help you get pretty close. We just don't have a 10,000s place. And so while you're practicing on here, I do want you to be really careful as you're trying different numbers, not to forget that 10,000s place. I just haven't been able to find any online that have that. However, we are also going to link on this slide some printable place value discs. If you do have a printer at home and you want to print them off, you can. I would just highly, highly recommend that you also color code them, much like these do and the ones I showed you in the lesson yesterday. So I am going to delete that and I'm going to look at this number right here, 12,931. Okay, so again, I like to start in my ones place. That's just where I always go. So I'm going to drag my 1 over. And then I have 3 tens, 3 groups of tens. You'll also notice that there are decimals on here. We do not get into decimals in 3rd grade, but eventually you will need them. And so this is just a great place to know that they are here. Okay, my next place is the hundreds place. And how many do I have of those? Yeah, I have 9 groups of 100. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I like that this kind of organizes it. I'm not accidentally like putting them on top of one another. And then I have my thousands. So my 2 is in my thousands place, which means I have 2 groups of 1,000. 2 groups of 1,000. And this chart, oh, it does give me, looky there. I didn't even see that. I can adjust my range on here. It doesn't give me 10,000s, but I can kind of pretend. Maybe let's move my thousands like this. And then I can put my 10,000s here and just remember to make it a separate column later. I have 1 in my 10,000s. You'll see this 1 in your 10,000s place. So I have 10,000. So I have 1 of those. So it'd be 1 times 10,000 plus 2 times 1,000 plus 9 times 100 plus 3 times 10 plus 1 times 1. And that would give me 12,931. So you guys are going, I'm going to let you play around on this for a little bit. Again, it's going to be linked, but you do have a seesaw activity today that I do want to take time and show you really quickly. And it's going to look like this. And so when you open it up, it's going to be really important for you to click this image. And the reason you need to click this is because it's a video instruction of how to play. So watch this. It's going to take you to Loom and you're going to hit play. Okay, guys, today we're going to play a little game in Seesaw. So what you're going to do is you're going to click on this play button right here to roll. Okay, so this video will explain to you exactly what you're going to do in your Seesaw activity over here. There are 3 slides, so you need to make sure that you do all three. It's the same thing on each one. You're just going to make 3 different numbers and represent it in different ways. Okay? You guys are going to do a wonderful job. We are so proud of all the learning that you've done with expanded notation. So make sure that you watch the instruction video for this seesaw activity, and then you will have some time to work on the place value discs. Great job, you guys.